Welcome one and welcome all. This is my last second live stream for Monster Month. I'm not doing anything tomorrow. Sunday, of course, we'll have the big Halloween show with Shelly Showtime and myself. But this is, as far as last second live streams for the month of October, where I'm drawing a monster, this is it. So let's hope it's we go out with a bang here, shall we? Let's see who's here. Nighthawk Warrior Comics is he's here, but he's not sure if I'm here. He's hello with a question. Well, I'm here. Eric the Guapo is here. He's in second place. Of course, Nighthawk Warrior being first one in gets absolutely nothing. Anatomy of the Mix gives us a little booyah. Thank you. Jiminy Cricket, Aaron. Where is Aaron? I'm right here. JP Roca's here. I'm assuming that's Kyle, not Kevin, with Comics Elite, not Keel. I'm assuming that's Kyle. Hail, Aaron. Excited to have you on the channel tomorrow. Check us out at Comics Elite. That is true. I will be on Comics Elite tomorrow. I agreed to do it after 4 o'clock on Saturday because that's when the Nebraska game should be over. Hopefully I won't be too depressed. But I don't know exactly what time, but there you have it. Jeff Potts, of course, wants to know where Shelly is. Shelly's right here. Here we're getting, yes, see. Correct. Looks like Keel, but is pronounced Kyle. Excellent. Okay, so you guys are, I'm sure you're asking yourself right now. I'm not working on I'm not working on anything. I'm sitting here talking to you. But if I were working on something, it might be something called Wraith of God. Now I've got I got some cool pages that are done, but I don't want to show them because I don't want. I mean, it's like my temptation, of course, is to show you guys every time I finish a page. Look at this one. Look at and of course, then you would see the entire issue, and then be what would the point of waiting to read it, right? So I can't show you every page as much as I would like to. But I'm on page, I am just finishing up penciling page 11 right now today, and I'm going to start inking it today, and I'll get it finished probably tomorrow sometime. And when I finish page 12, I'm going to show you page 12, because page 12 is sort of establishes one of the mysterious supporting characters, the sheriff in the town of Calamity, where this all is going to end up taking place. And so I'll give you a little preview shot of Calamity and the sheriff, who may look a little bit like Clint Eastwood by the time I'm done. We'll see. Also, now this is interesting. I did, you're like, oh, wow, what's that? So I've been saying this is for a Swedish publisher, and it's actually for an Austrian publisher. So from the home of Arnold Schwarzenegger comes a story that I call New Exodus. And I have been conversing with the gentleman in charge of Encode Graphics, which is going to be publishing this. And I believe I'm going to have a Skype call with him in about a week or so. And then I might have more information about when this is actually going to be out and available, and if there will be any more of this out and available. So that's going on behind the scenes. I got an email out to Dark Horse today to find out if my Garbage Man trade paperbacks have shown up yet. I haven't heard back, but they're supposed to be here this week, which means they would then collect them and ship them to me, and then I get to store, 10 boxes or whatever it is here for the next 4 months before I can ship them out. Excuse me. Pinky extended for good manners. Man. So anyway, that's what that's what I'm working on right now. I do have a couple things though I want to share with you as well. David pushing the old NFT joint. Yeah, that still makes my head hurt. I'm still swimming, mentally swimming on that. Let's see here. Oh, there's another one wondering where Shelly's at. As I said before, she's right here. So I didn't know if maybe I didn't make that clear the first time. Prater 7's here. Wow, this microwave mushroom risotto sounded like a good idea when I bought it. Now, mushroom risotto, Hot Pockets used to sound really good. I used to buy those when I was young and single because they were cheap. And so you'd start going, the pizza ones, of course, were okay because anytime even frozen pizza is still pizza. It's not great, but then you start going, well, those frozen pizza ones are pretty good. Maybe I'll try this chicken, cheese, and broccoli. Yeah. So the Hot Pockets went from being a favorite to I'm never buying those again. So you have to be careful about your flavors. Anatomy of the Mix. Lunch is over. See you in the rerun. Have a good Friday, Aaron. Thank you, Anatomy. Appreciate you stopping by. Yeah, lunch just started here. You must be like maybe, I don't know. I don't know where you're at, but your lunch is over wherever you're at. So I appreciate you sticking your head in for a few minutes. And like you said, you watch me in the reruns. I appreciate it. Yeah, that's it. Brohawk he called me right in the middle of Mike Miller's stream to get me to explain NFTs to him. And I did the best I could. I mean, that's the one thing I can say about NFTs. I know more about them than David Williams does, but that's about the only person I know more about him. Hey, there's Clydine. She's back in the house. Hi, Clydine. Thanks for joining us. It does sound interesting. It's been so long ago since I did it. I can't remember if it's any good or not, but I remember it being pretty good. Hopefully we'll find out sooner than later if Martin's watching from Encode Graphics. Come on, Martin. Let's get that thing out there. Let's see. I want to read the story on that babe in the spacesuits. Well, there are some daily strips available for free viewing on my website, on my blog page on my website. There's a couple of Kit Carter, like black and white, what I would consider like Sunday strips, except they're not in color, like old newspaper things. So you can check some of that out there. And it's on the agenda after I finish Wraith of God. So no, she doesn't teach on Fridays. I think she's just in the other room. Eventually she'll wander in. She'll hear me in here and go, I wonder if Aaron's live streaming, and then she'll wander in. This is true. They do. Barron did a couple stories for this anthology that my story is going to appear in. I think Chuck Dixon did one. I'm not sure who all the artists are, and I know Barron's doing a miniseries for them. So hopefully that will all sort of get out there sooner than later. Eric the Guapo wants to know, are you ready to win the Fragatober belt this year? Of course I am. I've been primed my entire life for it, and I'm ready to rock and roll. Yes, Hot Pockets are nasty. You can't use Art to Bear jokes on me because they don't work here. I'm not as old as Art. So Rodney Ulibar is here. Excellent. Rodney's an investigative reporter. He works for me sometimes, breaking news stories about the Wraith. Yeah, you chose poorly. Chicken. Yeah, it was not a good choice. Clydine wants a plug, so we'll give her one. Hey, personal plug. I'm doing a panel on UFOs, fact and fiction with Michael Grumley special edition. Is that doing a panel on UFOs, fact and fiction? Where, Clydine, would we find that? Is that Is that the Thanksgiving Day San Diego Con, or is that a YouTube thing? Or give us a little more detail. Hey, Aaron, have a great stream. Thanks, Jeff. Appreciate it. World class, and is also going to be on the UFO panel discussing UFOs. Okay. Is Aaron LaPresti's secret identity Shelley's Frankenstein? Hey, that would be a great Halloween costume. That'd be some serious makeup, especially if I did the Wrightson version. Aaron Louvier has joined us. Thank you, Aaron. Appreciate it. I have worked with Jim Shooter, and apparently he wasn't too thrilled with what I did. I did an issue of Legion. Don't ask me what number, I can't remember, but it was the, my goodness. Let's try that again. It was before I took over Wonder Woman. I came over to DC and did an issue of Legion while I was waiting for the scripts for Wonder Woman, or for Terry to finish his run, and then I was going to take it, whatever it was. And Shooter wrote the script, and it was like it was epically long. Okay, it was a 20-page comic, but the script was over 60 pages long, and you can imagine how mind-numbing it is to try and read through something like that. But so he was very specific, had a lot of details and things like that, and I took some liberties with some things because I thought, that I just felt like I made some choices that I thought were better for the story. And Shooter's very much, or at least used to be very much, kind of a 6-9 panel grid kind of guy, and I wasn't doing that at all. And what someone told me later was that he, in an interview someplace, I guess online, I don't know, had some how should we say, not complimentary comments about me in a very general sense, not specific, but he apparently wasn't happy with what I did on the issue. And I never read the article because I don't care enough to read it. So, but that was my understanding. So there's that. There you go. Yep, it's a panel at Comic-Con special edition. There you go. Okay, Clydine is going to be talking about UFOs. Not anytime soon. There you go. Clydine says, it's the Thanksgiving San Diego kind. If it's well attended, I think Michael and I will do a YouTube presentation. Okay, cool. That'll be awesome. Check that out. Exactly. But anyway. What is this? H-Man says, some of you pros still draw corporate character fan art. I'm still pissed. I would never touch a corporate character again. Well, we're still kind of fans of the old stuff we grew up reading, and it's kind of hard to break that sort of that fandom, Vic says, if I could draw like Mike or you, I'd be deep into NFTs. Well, the thing with NFTs, with my understanding, it's not just, you don't just draw something and stick it out there on a digital market and it sells for $1 million. You have to create, as Mike was trying to explain to me, you have to create your own marketplace to sell these, and that takes time and effort and understanding of the digital landscape and all this kind of stuff. And I've got a darn near 80-page book project that I'm working on right now that sort of needs to get all my full attention. So I don't really have the time to sort of learn all that stuff and sort of get knee deep into it so that I can start doing that. So, and plus I'm old school. This whole digital art thing, just, I don't know. Nighthawk Warrior says, hi, Aaron. How are you? I'm fine, thank you. Meat prices are insane. Well, there you go. Look at this. Well, Aaron, you have to get in line and take a number at Jim Shooter was displeased. He's a hothead, according to what I've been told, and what I saw when he was yelling at someone one time. Yeah, that's sort of my understanding as well. I don't know him. I've never actually met him, so I can't really comment too much on his disposition, but other than what I've read, like most of us. Um, I should offer to draw me a thing monkey for Mike. Hey, speaking of which, so this is what I've got left from just sitting around here. I did the zombie. Remember that was during the David Williams stream. It's kind of a, I don't know, somewhere between a zombie and a Frankenstein, Wrights and Frankenstein. Still sitting here. Did this Bride of Frankenstein with old Frankie in the background. Zemna the Living Titan. So this is one of the early ones on. That's still here. What else do I got? Oops, that's upside down. That's why I can't see it. Let's see here now. Now these aren't monsters, but I've still got like Thor Frog, and there's a Ghostbusters thing there. These are all leftover sketches from. I got a Ghost Rider there. I got the witch. That's the pretty monster. Got a pretty cool Garbage Man and a pretty cool King Kong. And I got this sort of, my take on the creature. And of course, that's Peace from Wizards. He's been in there a while. But anyway, this is all stuff that's available. If any of you guys, want to get one of those from me, you can certainly message me, email me, whatever, and ask about it. Okay, so I've been doing a little bit of work on trying to finalize my next Wraith of God print that everybody gets. This is a stretch goal print. Now, you guys have seen multiple variations on this. This was probably the last one you would have seen. But I wasn't 100% happy with it. I kind of wanted the Wraith with his arms stretched out. I didn't like the reaction of the Nosferatu up there. So comparing the two, you can see I've got a better reaction on Nosferatu. I've got a little bit more body motion going on there with the Wraith with his arm extended with the guns up. And then, of course, down at the bottom is still going to be Esther in the coffin in a cave. And this is a planned oil painting. And so I'm working on that along with the pages of Wraith. But now we are going to enter the drawing portion of our show. And someone suggested, I don't remember who it was, but I had two really good suggestions last time. One of them was Ulick the Troll, whom I dearly love. But I'm not, is he really a monster, though? That'd be maybe a bit of a stretch. But someone said Clayface, and I love Clayface. And Clayface is definitely, if he's not a monster, he should be. So that's what we're doing. Jiminy's screaming for Ulick. No, we're going to go, I'm going Clayface. I'm feeling Clayface. But see, Ulick I can do anytime because he's not really a monster. I have to make sure I'm doing monsters. Let's see. Yeah, we shall see. I haven't oil painted in a long time. So it'll be fun. Yeah, it is. She's a sexy liberated, and she uses the old rolling pin on poor old Frankie. Let's see. Nighthawk Warrior likes the zombie drawing. Thank you so much. $20 for 6 pounds would be good, but 40. I don't really know. Maybe he's talking about the meat thing. I don't know. Yeah, somebody want to kill a croc. Maybe it was H-Man. I know he is, but I like Clayface. So that's what we're doing. So let's get cracking on this, shall we? All I need is a pencil. My kingdom for a... Oh, there it is. Didn't have to look too far. All right. Of course, I think Bruce Timm's version is like my favorite version. Oh, wait a minute. What am I going to do here? I'm going to think about this for a second. Yeah. Okay. Let's do something with a little bit of motion in it. But yeah, Bruce Timm's version is my favorite version. And I guess that's really sort of what they that's really sort of what DC has gone with anyway, is Bruce Timm's version. I gotta make that head smaller. One of the reasons I hate working small is because my drawings always seem to grow off the page, because I like to draw big. I do not like drawing small. I think I showed you guys that page, I don't know, a couple live streams ago, where I had that page from Batman Legends, Legends of the Dark Knight, and it was a story I wrote and penciled and inked, and did the whole 9 yards. And I worked in Clayface, I worked in the Joker. And that's always kind of the fun thing you can do when you're writing your own stories, is use the characters you want to draw. So I had a really cool Joker and a really cool Killer Croc page that I ended up selling, but I kept the Clayface page because, I don't know, he's the most like a monster to me. See, I'm drawing off the page. I always kind of want to, do sort of a structured drawing of this character, but he doesn't really have structure. in the same sense, at least, you know, muscle wise and stuff. It's just a lot of glop. Yeah, well, it's true. I mean, if you did Clayface, at least in the sense that, you know, Bruce Timm did him, you gotta, you know, that would have to be all CG. Speaking of CG, I assume most of you have seen the trailer for the Buzz Lightyear movie. And I used to teach a class, an extension course through the Northwest College of Art here in Portland. I mean, we're talking like early 90s. And well, yeah, early 90s. And one of my students that I had for a couple semesters there was a young lad named Angus McLean. And Angus McLean ended up going to the Rhode Island School of Design. And Angus McLean ended up working at Pixar. And Angus McLean is now directing, or has directed, that Buzz Lightyear film. So how about that? I'd like to take credit for, you know, being a great inspiration to him. I doubt it, but that's kind of fun when you have a former student, I guess, you know, end up doing something like that. That's pretty cool. He also directed that Halloween special a couple years ago. That Toy Story Halloween special where they were all sort of trapped in that Bates Motel, and I think that guy had a pet iguana or something that was terrorizing them as they tried to escape this motel. But anyway, so that's just me name dropping, you know. Oh, wait a minute, where is it? There it is. Won't watch Buzz Lightyear without Tim Allen voicing the character. Disney screwed him over purely for political reasons. Of course they did. But I mean, they could technically argue that, you know, he's getting to a point where he's, you know, getting old and his voice sounds more like an old dude rather than a young dude. And this is young Buzz Lightyear. So I'm not saying they didn't screw him over, because I'm sure they did, but they could always use that as an excuse. Unfortunately, it is the world we live in right now. I don't know if you guys saw The Professionals last night, but we were doing like our favorite movie monsters and favorite comic book monsters. And Graham Nolan, of course, put up the cover to Fantastic Four number 12 because his favorite comic book monster characters were like the Hulk and the Thing. And but the interesting thing about that, I had not noticed this was that on that cover, and I have to go back and look at, I have an old Hulk issue from the original run, you know, the 1 through 6, where it got back in 1962. I have the Ditko issue, the number 6, the last issue. But on that cover of FF, he has 3 fingers and 3 toes on each hand, which is the typical, what I'm doing here, of course, which is the typical monster maneuver, right? Is not to give him all 4 fingers and a thumb, of course. But I had never really realized that before. And I don't know if that's something that Kirby did on that cover, or if it was something he did consistently in that first early run of Hulk. So now I'm going to go back and check on that. So I thought that was pretty interesting. Because I know the original Hulk concept was like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, but Kirby sort of drew him like, you know, with a flat head like the, you know, Frankenstein monster. So it was kind of that combination of Jekyll and Hyde and Frankenstein. But I had not noticed the 3-finger thing. No, I can't take it. I'm going to go look right now. I'm going to go over here to the comic collection hiding in the closet. I'm going to take out my Hulk number 6, and we shall see what we shall see. Now this is very odd because this is a Ditko issue, so I don't know if this really counts. But you can see I have this 6.0 of this. And it's really nice because it doesn't have any chipping. Most of the copies have chipping right up along here, along this edge, and this does not. So it's really a nice 6.0, which of course is a fine copy. Now, Ditko gave him all 4 fingers and a thumb, and he drew him with these little tiny feet, which I just think is hilarious. 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't know what that is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So he went ahead, Ditko went ahead and gave him all of his digits. So, but that doesn't really speak to Kirby, though, does it? Let's see what Jiminy says. Here he goes. Kirby mixed things up with Hulk early on. He had 5, 4, and 3 toes sometimes. Oh, that's funny. Well, you know, there you go. There's another super WW10 says Kirby was inconsistent with the digits, so we got everybody sort of. Yes, thank you, Kyle. I was. This is like one of my. I think that was one of my Grail books to get this. I don't know why, but when I was a kid, and I've told this story a million times, but I'll tell it again. When I was a kid, and I got a hold of, discovered the Overstreet price guides starting back in 1976 was the first one I actually bought. They always had this little gallery of, you know, of covers in there, and a photo gallery of, you know, like famous covers or whatever in comics. And one of them was that Hulk number 6. And I just thought the way that Ditko drew him was so funky and unusual. I was like, man, I'd really like to get that comic. But I thought I'd never, you know, first of all, when you're 12, which I was in 1976, you never think you're ever going to see a copy of that book. So you know, I thought there was no chance I'd ever actually get one. But I finally found one on Comic Link auction. I don't know, maybe 3 or 4 years ago, just maybe 2 years before COVID hit, and I got a really good price on it. And I usually only buy 9.2 books, unless they're older than 1965, and then I'm a little bit more flexible in my grading. And it's something like that. Those old Hulk books are just really hard to find in high grade. And if you do find them in high grade, they're super expensive. So finding, you know, a nice mid-grade copy like that, which is 6.0, is, I felt pretty good about it. Now, I had run into a couple earlier in life, if you will, but I never wanted to spend the money. But once I bought an Avengers #4 and laid down some serious cash for that, it sort of broke open the, because I would never spend more than, you know, if I spent $300 on a comic book, I would be like, you know, sick in bed for a week, you know. But my son he said, you know, you got to start buying more expensive books, you know, less books, but more expensive ones. And I'm like, I just can't bring myself to spend, you know, drop $1,000 or $1,500 or something on a comic. I just can't do it. And he goes, well, if you just put a little bit of money aside every month, you know, over the course of a year, then, you know, at San Diego, you can go in and buy an expensive book. And I went, okay, that's a good philosophy. I like that. So that's what I started doing. And I I'd put, you know, $50 aside one month, $100 or something, you know, or whatever. And by the time I got to San Diego this year, that one year, I think I had $1,600 saved up. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna get a $1,600 book. Well, I saw this Avengers 4 and they wanted 18 for it. So I had to do a little bit of negotiating, but I did get it. And that was, oh my gosh, that was a painful experience. But now it's a $4,000 book, so I actually feel pretty good about it. But at the time, it was painful. But the point of the story is, once I spent that kind of money on a book, you know, going and spending $600 on a book seemed like nothing. And so when that Hulk 6 came available, I think I spent less than $600 on it. You know, it wasn't as painful to buy that, because I'd already broken sort of the barrier by getting that Avengers #4. And I remember talking to Shelley about it. I was like, you know, been saving my money, you know, because you don't want to go drop, well, what is $1,700 or $1,800 on a book, and then tell your wife after the fact, right? Yeah, I just dropped $1,800 on an old piece of paper. So, but she gets it. I was collecting comics way before I met her, and so she was integrated into the whole comic collecting lifestyle pretty quickly. She says, as long as you know, as long as you're paying the bills and you know, we're still eating, then, you know, whatever. But I'm pretty responsible about that stuff. I don't. Of course, now, once my daughter is out of college and my son is completely off the payroll, but once my daughter's off the payroll, sky's the limit, baby. Watch out. Who knows how much it'll drop. If I still have you know, I'm still making any money at that point. Coincidentally, this morning I had to check to see if Thing in the Addams family was a lefty or a righty. He's a righty. How about that? So does he have right-handed privilege? Um, no, I was like freaking out when they did the 70s Spider-Man television show with Nicholas Hammond. I thought that was the greatest thing in the world. We had no concept when I was growing up about anybody ever being able to produce the kind of special effects and stuff to be able to pull off a superhero movie. But then, in 77, Star Wars came out, and we were all just like, what? And so then maybe it seemed plausible, but I think the biggest problem always has been for that sort of material is believability. Can I really suspend my disbelief that, Captain America, even when the movie Captain America came out, I thought Iron Man had a chance to work because, it's a metal suit, and it's a guy in a metal suit. And so I thought, okay, that probably I can buy that. But I was like, are we really going to believe Captain America, running around in these tights fighting in World War? I love Captain America, don't get me wrong, but I wasn't convinced that they were going to be able to pull it off. But they did, because they redesigned the costume so that it in a lot of ways looked like, it was believable. And so I give even Thor and things like that, the way they did the movies, they made them believable, or at least in this, that you could suspend your disbelief through the course of the film and enjoy it. So, but yeah, when we were kids, we never thought, we would go, they'd have like, Spider-Man would show up at a, at a mall, right? And that would be like a big deal. And so all of us kids would go to see Spider-Man, and it was just some dude in a, spandex outfit. And you're like, just looking at him, you're like, that dude couldn't beat Doc Ock. You know what I mean? You didn't believe it. And so that was kind of our whole experience with superheroes back then, was just, stretchy spandex costumes that no one actually, they look good in the comics, but you put it on a real person and it doesn't really look all that great. But, they solved that problem with doing good costumes, and I mean, for the movies, and, special effects got to a point where you could believe the unbelievable. So, I think, I don't know for sure, but I think it's Halloween night when we have the big showdown. So Shelly and I will do our show, and then I'll hop over to Fraga, I think is what's going to happen. But I have to double check with him. I don't know for sure. Too many cricket. That's a good point. The Superman movie in '78 was actually pretty good. But it was all done sort of tongue in cheek too, so which made it, the Christopher Reeves movies made it a little bit more believable, or a little bit more acceptable. I don't know if believable is the right word. But even that Superman movie, which I still think is the best Superman movie, it doesn't have the same feeling as these modern, films do. It's almost a shame in a weird way that, we now have the ability to do just about anything, entertainment wise. So there's really nothing left. I think maybe when they pulled off Jurassic Park, you started to realize that nothing cinematically was going to be impossible anymore. Um, but it's like there's nothing that can't be done or conceptualized anymore, which in some ways takes away a bit of our imagination. Maybe I wouldn't feel that way if everything everybody did was great, but there's so much crap, so many, film wise, that so many projects have been blown just by poor writing or poor directing or poor whatever. Being focused on spectacle and blockbuster instead of story and character. And so, even though something looks great, oftentimes we're still disappointed because it, lacks heart or it lacks engaging characters or whatever. But I'm not as old as Art to Bear, but I do miss the simplicity of my younger days, in the sense that convenience isn't always such a wonderful thing. I'm wondering if in some respects we're turning into, or eventually going to end up like Wall-E, with all these people sitting around in floating chairs and doing nothing for themselves, and having everything, expecting everything to be, given to us. And those challenges, man, back in the 70s and even the 80s, that you just sort of accepted as everyday life, and you kind of, it was overcoming those challenges, although it wasn't always fun. It was help define your character. I don't spend a lot of time watching TV. I never really have. Our entertainment options were so limited when I was growing up. It was Mad Magazine, comic books, and there were no video games, right? So it was baseball cards or trading cards of some sort, and God, we were outside all the time doing stuff. I do sound like a grumpy old man. Should be sitting on the porch, drinking lemonade with a shotgun across my lap, yelling at kids. We did have pinball. We did have arcades and stuff, so there was, when I was in high school, which would have been in the early 80s, I think Dragonlance, which I want to say was animated by Don Bluth. Was that Dragonlance? Is that the name of that thing? No, it was Dragon something. Had that knight, and he would fight. It was animated like a Disney animated film would be, but it was a video game. What the heck was that called? Dragon Quest? I don't know. But that was like the coolest thing, right? Even though it was kind of a lame game, but because the animation was so cool. But we had like Space Invaders and Donkey Kong and things like that. And you could always go spend a Saturday afternoon at the mall in the video arcade. I sucked at pinball, though. I always sucked at video games, period. It's never my thing. It's probably why I reject technology now. There's a certain art to, or skill to video games that I just don't. It's like an awareness or something that I just don't have. When my son was little, he got him a Battlefront Star Wars game, and he so desperately wanted to play me all the time because he could kill me like in like 5 minutes. He would like sneak up behind me and blow my head off every single game, and I just had no clue where he was coming from, or what I was supposed to be looking for or looking out for. I would just start firing away, and then I'd be dead in 5 minutes. Oh, come on, Dad, let's play again. I'm like, you call that playing? No, thank you. And I couldn't get the dumb. Was it Donkey Kong Jr. or something? I don't know. I couldn't get the stupid monkey to do what I wanted it to do. It just used to piss me off. So yeah, that's why I still draw two-dimensionally. That's why I do not, I hate technology. Dragon's Lair, that's it. The replicant comes through. Praetor 7's on it as well. Don't go to Old Man Lopresti's, he'll shoot you. That's exactly right. I'll load my shotgun with rock salt and yeah, there you go. Like that would you go to like a pizza place, right? And they would have like several video games and you'd be sitting there. I mean, that was like a thing, right? Go to the pizza parlor and hang out all Saturday night. Now I go to a pizza parlor and like eat pizza and leave. Actually, most of the time we order to go and eat it at home, right? So antisocial. For those of you wondering, Shelly and I will be costuming up for our Sunday show. Now, depending on when Fraga goes on, we may only do like an hour show. So it'll be jam-packed full of fun and probably a lot of Halloween candy. And but as of right now, we're starting at our regular time, which would be 5 o'clock Pacific. Although it might be kind of difficult because we have trick-or-treaters messing up the show. Of course, at 5 o'clock, we should be okay here. You guys might, East Coast guys might be have your hands full with trick-or-treaters during the show's on. But, what are you going to do? I'm tempted just to kind of stick the bowl of candy out on the porch and say, help yourself. That'll last about 5 minutes, right? Kids will come up and dump the whole thing in their bag. Did you ever do that when you were a kid, when someone wasn't home and they would leave a bowl of candy out? I didn't, because I was, but I would have had a guilty conscience about it, so I wouldn't have ever done it. But I know people that did, because we'd go to those houses and, at 6:30 in the evening, and the bowl would already be empty, and you're like, okay, someone came by and emptied that sucker out. So I haven't been doing a great job of promoting Wraith of God the last week because I've been working on it. And the thing that that is the best for promotion is showing artwork, right? But I can't show the artwork because I'll ruin the comic. So I've just been like doing nothing, in terms of promotion, which is I've kind of got, don't tell him, but I'm thinking I've got to catch Graham. Graham hit 120,000. I'm like, I've got to beat Graham. But I'm not doing a very good job of it because I'm not promoting like I should be. And the best promotion for it, like I said, is art. But I can't show the art. So it's kind of like what to do, right? So I figured, well, I better get working on that Wraith of God print painting, because that's not a secretive thing. Doesn't ruin the story or anything. It's a stretch goal. It's a promotional piece. So, and I should get going on those stickers too. But then I'm kind of like, well, do I want to reveal the characters that are going to be in the sticker set, or do I just, want you guys to wait until you get the stickers to see? So it's kind of like, it's so tempting because I do want to share all of it and go, oh, look at this, isn't this cool? But then I'm like, well, I don't want to ruin the surprise for everybody either. So I don't know. Because I had several. Interesting. So, what was I talking about? Oh yeah, just showing stuff, and I keep finishing a page, and I'm like, oh wow, this is really cool. I should show it. And I'm like, no, I probably shouldn't. I know someone told me, one of the backers, one of you guys, was like, I don't want to see anything. I want to be completely surprised when I open up the comic and read it and everything, see it for the first time, kind of thing. And so I don't know. I mean, what I will show, Gabe is coloring it, right? And he's supposed to have some, I think, did he say by the end of this week or the end of next week? I can't even remember. I think the end of next week. He's going to have some pages for me. And so I've already revealed the first 5 pages of the comic, right? So those, I can show those, the colored pages, and that'll be cool. And if I only reveal, one every couple days of the first 5 pages, then I can stretch it out a little bit until I get some finished inked pages that I can actually share with you guys that won't ruin the story. Because I do have a few in there I know that I'll be able to share. But if I show you every cool Wraith page I do, then there won't be any cool Wraith pages for you to see when I'm done. I love Clayface. I really do. Jerome, is that question even really worth answering? Christopher Reeve was the perfect choice. How old is Garbage Man? You mean when did I create him? Right when I went over to DC. Before I was working on that while I was working on Wonder Woman. So that was 2007, I think. (2006 or 2007) is I think. Leg Kick's been putting the word out for me. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. Oh yeah, Space Ace. I forgot all about that. Yeah, it was, but it was the early 80s because I was still in high school when that thing came out. So will Garbage Man make a cameo in that's an excellent question, Vic. That I'm not going to answer. Well, just let me put it this way. There is, I established a stretch goal that there would be a epilogue at the end of Wraith of God that that ties in Wraith of God to the current Loprestiverse timeline. Okay, and that's all I'm going to say. But I'm not done with Garbage Man either. My goal at this point right now, and of course things change, but my goal is to do sort of next after I finish Wraith of God to do an anthology book that features Kit Carter. That's the space babe back there. We'll have a Kit Carter story. It'll have a Garbage Man story, and it'll have a new Wraith of God story in it. Each one will be about 21, 22 pages, somewhere in that. So it'd be like a 64-page book that would feature those three characters. That way I can, and if I continue to do that, if that proves to be successful or something that people are interested in, then that will give me a way to sort of get the Loprestiverse out there, all those characters out there, without neglecting the established ones that you guys, have become familiar with and want to see more of. But like I've said, the trade paperback, the Garbage Man trade paperback, which comes out literally this month, or pardon me, I think it's November 8th or 10th or something, but it's actually available through comic stores and Amazon and all that kind of stuff. I mean, you can pre-order right now, but it's literally supposed to be back from the printer this week. And so I should be getting my copies very soon. Of course, I can't ship those out to you guys, the ones that ordered them through the campaign, until all the other stuff is done. So they all go out together. But you, as I said before, you don't have to read the Garbage Man trade paperback to be able to read the Wraith of God story, the graphic novel. The Wraith of God graphic novel is in no way connected to Garbage Man. However, to understand the epilogue at the end that you're getting as a bonus that everybody gets, to fully understand it, you will have had to either have read, you'd have to have read the trade paperback, the Garbage Man trade paperback, because there's some new stuff in the trade paperback that isn't in the old miniseries that was published through DC. But to fully understand I should say not to fully understand, but to fully, to have a full reference for the epilogue, you will have had to have read the Garbage Man trade paperback, which may be something that'll be available digitally. I don't know. For those of you who are like, I don't want to spend $20 on a trade paperback or whatever, it's probably going to be available digitally, I would think, but I don't really know because that would be up to Dark Horse. But if I need to, I will go in and I can't explain it now because I would, give it away, right? And maybe I've already said too much, I don't know. But I'll certainly make information available if you're not someone who has the trade paperback or had no desire to get the trade paperback, that I will, once everybody has it and has had a chance to read it, I will make clarification references maybe to those who never got the trade paperback. So I'll do what I can. I'm live streaming. People were asking about you. I had to shoot a few cannonballs, but
oh no,
Shelly is in the house.
I could just hear your voice. I was like, who is he talking to?
Who, of course, would he be talking to?
Well, considering it's our lonely home.
Look at all that Clayface gloppiness goodness.
Let's see. Ooh.
See, there you go, Jiminy Cricket. Shelly,
like.
Look at that. Look at them cheering you on.
Hey, Jiminy!
Shadowhawk
some of my favorite people are here. Oh, Clydane. Hi, Clydane. What about Hail Shelly? Hey. How long wait is it?
How long have you been waiting for this?
Such good stuff.
Hmm?
Oh, Jeffrey had to leave. Leg kick. Oh, now this is a cool name. Jerome George.
Mm-hmm.
I like it.
Oh, Jerome.
Oh, what if they'd pick John Travolta instead of,
Those are the kind of questions you get from Jerome. You have to be careful.
That would have like ended the entire Superman, whatever. That's just the weirdest sentence.
The whole Superman, whatever.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying.
I don't know if I know what you're saying or not.
Well,
I know what you're saying.
The whole legacy of Superman and it gone the way of Pulp Fiction. So how many people do you think are watching at work and then like minimizing the screen when like their boss comes by? Oh, how long have you been doing? Oh my goodness.
I've been on since noon.
For an hour?
Yeah, what time is it? Yeah, I've been on for an hour and 10 minutes. How about that?
Wow.
I'm just about done. Just about.
So, Shelley's Frankenstein. I like that. You're my Frankenstein? Is that the?
I guess that's the joke.
That would have been. We didn't think of that. Although we got a okay costumes for being cheap.
Well, it's more of we were thinking about doing Scooby-Doo, but then you would have to wear the Scooby costume.
Oh
and you
my God! And up here, I would have roasted and
so that wasn't
melted.
Because all they had was a Shaggy and a Scooby costume. They didn't have a Fred and Velma, Daphne. So.
They had Daphne.
Yeah, but they didn't have Fred.
Right. And I don't think the Daphne. I think they had like small Daphnes. And Shelley ate small. Well, I was small the day I was born at 4 pounds, but that's about it. Next day, thick chick. Looking for new names.
Yeah, but we're ready to go. As long as we don't get any trick-or-treaters during the middle of our show.
You know, we will, and then.
Well, we start at 5. No one's going to come trick-or-treating at 5.
Oh, you know.
Maybe by 6 they would.
I think we put the bowl out there and say, have at her. And
well, you know what? I was talking about that earlier, and it's like, you know that some kid's going to come along and just dump the whole thing in his bag.
Put a video camera out there. We're watching.
That's watching.
We're live streaming
take
this
one.
to your parents.
Actually, I have a pumpkin I've got to carve. I should probably live stream that, shouldn't I?
Want to?
The question is, does anybody else
Right.
care? Probably.
Did you see Dune?
No.
Are we gonna?
No. It
No.
seems, look at.
Look at this. We know when he's trying to make a point. Look at.
I thought, and I would look at.
Okay, look at.
David Lynch was like my favorite director for like 5 minutes. After he did The Elephant Man, I thought was just like one of the greatest films. Exactly. That was one of the greatest films ever. And so then he followed that up with Dune. So I was super excited to go see Dune. I went and saw Dune, and it was one of the worst films I'd seen.
Was Tom Cruise in that one?
No, Sting was though.
Who?
Sting.
Oh, right. What was that really weird one that Tom Cruise was in?
Oh, where he's like on that planet by himself.
Maybe,
like
I don't know.
And then Morgan Freeman shows up because Morgan Freeman's in everything. Although I like Morgan Freeman.
I love him. It's
the other dude that played Nick Fury, Samuel Jackson, that's in everything, and he just annoys me. But I love Morgan Freeman.
Jimmy! Jimmy's here. So who works at home? Tiny baby sloth. That would be Sammy's favorite thing. I do have a bunch of tests to grade. I don't want to do it. And the kids would go, oh, just give us all A's.
Well, that would solve the problem.
Yeah. Well, there's only a few of them. Yeah, split screen your front door camera during, well, we don't have one. We'd have to get one.
Yes.
I just think we keep the lights out. Oh, Oblivion. Thank you.
Yes, that was it.
Thank you.
And wasn't Morgan Freeman like the leader of like some weird underground movement that he discovered?
I just remember him being like weirdly dressed or something. I don't know.
Who, Morgan Freeman?
No, Tom Cruise.
Yeah. Well, he was on there by himself. You know, it was like on this, he thought he was.
Oh my gosh, that'd be funny. Yeah, we have a doorbell, front door camera with voice. Get your out of there.
What do you think you're doing? Quit taking so much candy.
Just one. You pig. Oh man. Yeah, cue the dog. Oh, that's the thing. Yeah, if they come ring the doorbell, it's gonna be
barking like nuts.
He'll have no voice the next day. Hey, that might work.
Yeah, exactly. Bark him out on Halloween night, and then.
No, I just think we put something in there.
I don't want to do it. I think they're going to take everything like in 5 minutes. That's not fair.
Well,
I think you should go to the door.
No, I'm not doing it.
You never do it.
I don't want to wrestle the dog, and
well, the dog needs to be locked up.
That'll go over well.
Well, just long enough to answer the door.
Mm.
If we gated the hallway and put him in there.
Oh, isn't he just full of ideas? Just full of them.
Full of something.
Yep.
I think this turned out quite well.
Yeah, I like.
It's very gloppy.
Mm-hmm.
All right, well, I'm going to go ahead and find a place to sign it. I guess up here in the corner.
Yeah. Did you leave any room?
And there is, oops, my final
Kirby.
monster of Monster Month.
You're not going to draw one tomorrow?
I'm not going on tomorrow.
He says.
No,
I've
got to be on Kyle's show tomorrow.
Oh, so you will be on, just not.
I'm switching
yours.
cameras, so look out. Yeah. And I got to watch football, and I got to get everything, all the videos and stuff ready for our show on Sunday.
And I got
And I got to draw, and I got to see. I am a whiner, I admit it. All right, so this is what it looks like in better light.
Kind of.
Well, I mean, you can see the detail better. This is So that's good fun. Of course, that's available for sale because everything's for sale. If you want to contact me, there's a little scroll at the bottom where you can get a hold of me. You can also message me on Facebook and Twitter and all these other things, or Instagram if you're into that. If you have any interest in any of these sketches that I've done that I still have left that I previewed earlier before you came in. Oh, of course I did. I'm always on top of that stuff. Always looking to make a buck.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's kind of cool. What's
Yeah.
that?
D. Jones. Oh, that was for some other dudes. That book cover thing.
Oh,
that I did
gotcha.
for that guy. Clayface is not a monster. He's just misunderstood. That's true.
Kind of like me.
Henry Bemis said, I'm just lurking in the chat, but had to pop in to say what a killer piece of art that is. Wow. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thanks
Paul,
for working.
What happens to Clayface in the rain? Who needs heroes? Inclement weather will do. You know, that's actually a really interesting thought.
He could never be in Oregon.
No. Oh, wait a minute now. Tiny Baby Sloth Daw says Clayface killed people by drowning them in mud. That's a monster. Okay, so he's not misunderstood. He's a killer. It's a killer monster. Jiminy Cricket says, amazing work, Aaron. Thank you, Mr. Cricket.
Mr. Cricket.
I appreciate that. Appreciate that so much. I'll give you one of these.
What?
So thank you. Appreciate that. Clyding says, always great, Aaron. Thank you. Appreciate it. I'll be shipping by the weekend.
Negative.
Look at Tobias is like already giving me crap about not being done with Wraith of God. I've been working on it for like less than a month, and it's 80 pages, and he's like, or almost 80 pages.
Ooh, that's a cool
You ship this weekend?
Ooh.
I know, but I can't.
Look at Esther.
I can't show it. I don't want to give it too much away.
Oh, you guys. Oh my gosh, that panel with the Wraith is. Why did you do that to yourself?
Oh, that one at the end?
Yes.
Yeah, I know it was a lot of work, but
don't put it. Is that a saddle or something?
Yeah.
Don't put that in any more of them. That's crazy details.
Gosh.
Look at Esther. She's pretty.
Beautiful, misunderstood Esther.
Yep.
Oh, Tobias is like, he says, that's just my style. Man, I hope I'm not even a day late with this book from when I promised it, because you're going to be piling on me like crazy.
He's working on it every day.
I am. And I'm quite confident that it'll be done on time. And I think I talked to the printer, and although we're still 5 months away from going to the printer, you know, so you never know what's going to happen in 5 months, but I seem to think that there won't be any delay issues or anything like that. So there's no reason at this point to assume that this book is not going to get shipped out at some point in April. So, which is what I promised. So my dog is attacking me. I'm sorry. He's like trying to
get him move.
Oh,
get him, Husker.
Chewing on my sweater.
Get him, Husker. Pick him up.
Well, he doesn't want to be picked up. He wants to chew on my sweater. Look at this thing. He's a monster.
Monster.
Say hi to the folks.
With your angry eyebrows.
Yep. Yeah, well, chewing on my arm. Henry Bemis says, that's only 3 pages a day, Aaron. But you have to remember, I'm not just penciling. I'm penciling and inking. So, oh, that's only 3 pages a day. I was thinking 3 pages a week.
I was too. Yeah.
No, I get this dog off of me. He's literally tearing my clothes off of me.
This is a family show.
Hey, D, no, I'm not even going to put that up. That's not nice. See, look at this. Doc says, I got alerts enabled and I did not get the notification. People complain about that all the time. I don't understand why.
Well, how much lead time do you get?
Well, these are last second live streams. They're usually like
maybe
15 to 20 minutes. Is all they should come up.
Maybe you need to plan ahead.
Well, okay, but that wouldn't be a last second live stream, would it?
True. It's just words.
Gosh. Henry says we're willing to wait for poor quality. Wait, I think you meant for quality.
Oh, either way, it's got it covered.
Oh my
that's funny.
gosh, no, it's high quality, of the highest quality, but
Oh, you guys, this page is awesome looking.
I work on schedule and on time, so
he works every day. We got bills, we got kids.
Yeah, that's right. I'm not one of these guys who has a
well, that's the thing, like, ooh, is he gonna fulfill it? Of course he's gonna. When have you've never missed a deadline in your career?
No, well, I probably have once or twice, but
hours.
Rarely does that happen.
You've never bailed. You've never, yeah.
See, Tobias Patrick is saying you got that little furry distraction killing your deadline. You should have got a fish.
Seriously.
Then I'd have to clean the fish bowl.
By now.
Yeah, I don't know. Oh, what is Clayton's got a? Oh, this is better than seeing you at a convention. Well, we get to talk more. At least it's kind of one-sided. Thank you, Clayton. It's a little one-sided conversation. Me doing most of the talking, but you guys get to interact too. So, yeah, when Shelly's here, she takes over the conversation, and I just
move it over, Mister. I'm just taking over.
Boy, can I talk now? I'm my own show.
Right. Oh, you just
all right. See, look at this, Paul. He's on my side. It'll all be good. You're the most reliable artist I've ever had the pleasure to meet. Well, thank you for saying Paul. That. I appreciate that.
Yeah, he is very responsible. I, on the other hand, just a free spirit.
Jimmy Owens. I've waited a while for Wrecked Planet. I'm patient, and it's always worth it not to rush. Well, it's also always worth it to deliver when you say you're going to deliver. So
it's true, but everybody has their thing.
That's right. So I'm going to. I mean, I meant that. For me personally, it's important to me to do that. So I'm going to make sure that I do everything in my possible.
It's just, I think people get so overwhelmed with so much to do that it's.
Well, that's the thing. I think a lot of people go into crowdfunding and they're not prepared for what they have to do, which is everything.
Yeah.
And so, I mean.
I'm not trying to be negative to anybody, I guess is what we're trying to say.
Right. There's a lot of stuff going on, and so your guys' patience obviously is paramount, but you shouldn't have to wait too long either, I don't think. That's just me. And I'm going to try and make sure that does not happen. So there you go.
Well, there you have it, folks. Right from the horse's
Clayton
mouth.
says you should do a comedy show with Shelley. That's what this is. Oh, stand-up comedy. I did stand-up comedy once, and I bombed so horribly. I will never do it again.
I do it every time I step in front of the classroom.
Oh my gosh! Well, there's one thing to be conversationally funny. There's nothing to stand up with a microphone and tell jokes and have people laugh. It's a totally different skill set. Tobias Patrick says, all joking aside, Aaron, you were my first campaign I've ever backed. Take your time, make it great. Well, I promise you this, it will be great. As great as I can do. Let me put it that way. But it will be on time. And like I said, I send out updates pretty much weekly, just to let you guys know what's going on, even if I don't necessarily have something to show you, or that I can show you, just to make sure that you guys know where we're at. And like I said, I'm on page 11 right now, and I'll be inking that as soon as I get done with this. And then maybe starting page 12 this weekend if I have time. But I'm anxiously waiting to hear on the Garbage Man trade paperbacks, because they're supposed to be in this week, but I haven't heard back yet.
Figure out where to put them.
I know.
I was thinking about that the other day, going, when all of it shows up, we'll have to sell some furniture and make some room.
Well, the thing is, at least when all of it shows up, it won't be here long.
Right.
As soon as Wraith of God shows up, the actual book, we're shipping, baby. We're going to start shipping. Open those boxes and start shipping that stuff out of here.
Throw it out the door.
That's right. So there you go.
All right, we're going to have to hire some kids.
Yep.
Maybe.
Colliding. But you guys are naturally funny together, like I Love Lucy.
Oh,
Actually-
Eileen, you got to go back to the dog diarrhea day. What was that? Not that the dog had diarrhea, but
No,
yeah, last time on. Oh, here we play.
Yeah,
oh
yeah.
my gosh.
I'll give you a little
killed me.
taste if you've missed this. Previously on Aaron Live.
Pardon for just a second. Did you get it?
Yeah.
Okay, blow on it.
10
Check it,
seconds.
roll.
Still delicious.
Oh, yes. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. That one. I was thinking this too. No.
It just
I wasn't thinking.
All of our team. Nothing. Thank you.
It's almost Rankin Bass.
yeah. What was that Mad Monster party?
Yeah.
Oh.
There you go. So that's
that was
yeah.
my most favorite moment, I think.
Yeah,
It was so
Doc
perfect.
Blaylock says Shelly needs her own channel.
Oh, you know.
Yeah.
Thank you, Nanny. That's nice.
Uh,
You got some splaining to do. One more time.
Doc Blaylock, yeah, but then she'd get more subscribers than Aaron.
Jiminy.
Subscribe to this, Jim.
There's your subscription.
Yeah, here's your subscription, pal. Oh.
That is so funny.
Yeah, not exactly. Not exactly. All right, we got to get out of here because I got to get to work.
Yeah.
Do a spec script.
I know. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for taking the time to join me this afternoon. And if you're just joining me, this is what you missed me draw. So go back if you want to see me draw this, and go back to the beginning and watch me draw it. I will be sharing some Wraith of God stuff soon, and some more artwork, I mean. And please, if you haven't backed Wraith of God, if you don't even know what I'm talking about, there's a link in the description of this video that'll take you right there to the Indiegogo page and campaign, and you can order a copy of the book that I'm working on right now.
And hey, whose channel are you on tomorrow?
Kyle, comics, comic.
You'll put a link somewhere.
Yeah, as soon as I find out. As soon as he gives me a start time, I'll let you guys know.
Okay.
And so that'll be Saturday afternoon, tomorrow afternoon after 4 o'clock Pacific time.
And then Sunday.
Sunday, 5 o'clock Pacific time will be Aaron Live, the big show with me and Shelly Showtime doing our Halloween antics. So you don't want to miss that.
And then after that.
I think I'm going on Fragaboom to rightfully take the sketch title.
Take it.
So we'll see if I can pull that off.
Awesome.
Anyway, you guys enjoy your weekend. Have a safe Halloween. And we will catch you sooner than later, I'm sure. Thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye now.